What's up guys, Chemistry here. My total drama action video, but I just wanted to give a shout out. I'm not sure I gave this guy a shout out in the video, so I want to give it to Catathyst. Also, as I did give a shout out to Jacobabey, as I was just looking for my notes and I realised that this guy also suggested the video, so I wanted to give him a shout out. So thank you both for your suggestion. Also, I'm starting to premiere my videos to make scheduling times for like total drama, my other what ifs, to help me get through all these what if ideas, just so you guys aren't waiting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you. Give me more suggestions in the comments, and just wanted to give these two guys a shout out. This guy a shout out, as I wasn't sure if I gave him one in the video. So back to the theory. Guys, going to show you back in the video. Today's video is what if everyone was in total drama action. So this will be a two-part series for action and World Tour. This idea was by Jacobabey. Thank you for your suggestion. So this will be interesting because we will have Cody, Ezekiel, Eva, Noah, Tyler, Katie, and Sadie in the season. And I think Eva and Katie definitely should have competed in the second season. So episode 1 is not an elimination, but I probably would give it to Ezekiel, and I think Ezekiel would let, the girls get the nicer cabin because he would want to redeem himself for his previous actions in season 1. Episode 2 is Alien Resurrection. So Jeff and Bridget are still making out, and Eva, Duncan would have an egg. Courtney would have an egg. And I think here, DJ and Cody would drop it. Courtney and Duncan get hit. Eva would get hit. And there's no reason for Bridget and Jeff to get voted off like normal. They were making out for the entire challenge. I think they're the perfect aftermath hosts. So they're out. So Trent is on the grips and Gwen is on the gaffers. Every episode's going to be an elimination. So Gwen will choose Duncan. Instead of Trent choosing Lindsay, I think he chooses Courtney. Now you're probably thinking, hang on, Courtney was second prize. That's true, but you got to keep in mind that Duncan likes Courtney. So Trent's going to spite this to spite Duncan and to spite Gwen. So Gwen would then pick Lashana. He would then Trent picks Justin, because there's no reason for why he wouldn't pick Justin. Then Gwen would pick Cody. He's good friends with Cody. Trent picks Lindsay. Gwen would pick Heather. I think Lashana would say keep your enemies closer. Then Trent would pick Tyler, after Lindsay would say pick Tyler. Then Gwen would pick, so we have the guys, girls, DJ. She picks DJ. Trent picks Noah. I think he would pick Noah. Then we have, for Gwen picks, it's Katie, Sadie, or Eva. She picks Katie. Then on the grips, Trent would pick Owen. So the girls, he chooses Beth. I think he chooses Beth. Then Gwen chooses Harold. Would choose Harold. So she chooses Harold. Trent would pick Owen. Gwen would pick Sadie. She would pick Sadie at this point. Then Trent would pick Eva or Izzy. She picks Izzy. Gwen would pick Ezekiel. And that would leave Trent with Eva. So episode 3. So this is the teams. So these are the teams throughout the season. Let me know if you agree with my picks. I just kind of thought on Universe what characters they would pick. Gwen and Trent. I also thought their friendships, they would pick more of their friends, I think. So first part, DJ would still refuse to pull up the items. Zeke would try to do it to impress the team. Eva, they just get Eva to do it. I think Eva would end up pulling. They win the first part. The grandma, it would still, so the situation with the gangster Duncan would still do it, and then Izzy would still do it. I think the gaffers would end up still winning. Noah has Team E-Scope. He's got a 4-person alliance. But beyond that, Justin would get Beth and Lindsay. Tyler's trying to get Lindsay at this point. They vote for Izzy like normal. Izzy's out. Episode 4 is the balance on the surfboard. Gwen and Duncan and Sean are too good here. Everybody else is pretty good at this challenge. We just don't know how Katie, Sadie, and Ezekiel will do. Cody and Tyler, Eva, and Noah. I think the Grips would win the first part of the challenge. Trent's still throwing challenges at this point. Then Trent would still have his number 9 obsession and all the number 9s. He would still lose it. Not a thing I appreciate and agree with, but it's faithful to the original. There's nothing I can really do about that. And I will make a what if Trent never had his number 9 obsession, which would be quite interesting, I think. Then, because I like Trent as a character, Trent was one of my favourite characters. And just want to point that out as well. So then it would be, they would win Sandcastle. The tiebreaker would be Shauna and Trent. Trent would still throw the challenge, but Justin wouldn't know yet that Trent was throwing. Noah's suspicious of Trent at this point. So Noah would get Eva and Owen to vote for Trent. Courtney. So Justin would get his 3-person alliance vote for Courtney. And he has Tyler's vote. It's not that Tyler wants to work with Justin, it's more of Lindsay's working with him. I might as well work with him for a temporary truce. So these 4 vote for Courtney. Trent would vote for Courtney, and I think Courtney is out here. Courtney isn't actually. This is where I think this is where Chris would do the Courtney play, where everyone would vote for Courtney, but Courtney's vote's the only one that counts, and she gets rid of Owen. You can feel annoyed about that and say that wouldn't happen, but that happened in the original, so I'm just bringing it a lot earlier in the timeline. So now that Courtney doesn't have used her free pass, she can now get voted off. Episode 5. So landing on the Cowboys, everyone does okay here. DJ would land on it. Katie, Sadie would land on it. Zeke would land on it. Cody would. Even Noah would land on it, and Tyler. Noah gets Eva that we need to convince somebody else in the alliance to try and keep us around. We need to try and convince somebody else into this side of the alliance. Justin is controlling the game, which really annoys Noah because the anti-me is winning as 2 of my alliances have already gone. And here we have the situation where Trent, he would still throw the rope, he would start to miss, and DJ would end up winning it for his team, his animals instincts. So I think the Grips still lose. Gwen and Trent break up, and Trent gets voted off like normal. So Noah is happy that he survives another day. Courtney, but he's annoyed that Courtney's still here. Episode 7. This is where Izzy would come back. So I just want to put Izzy up here to tell you what team she's on. So 6 and Aftermath, episode 7, this is where Gwen goes. So Justin would still blackmail Gwen for this episode. Noah's suspicious of this. Then they throw Duncan in the cage and Lindsay in the cage. Duncan's really good at eating challenges. He's quite crafty, as he would be. I imagine in juvie, Duncan would be able to think of some strategies to get rations for himself. So I think Duncan would be able to win here. Cody is with Gwen. He's trying to figure out why Gwen is Gwen okay. Then Lindsay. Eva would end up pushing for the Grips. And Gwen's still throwing the challenge at this point. Gwen hits Harold with the shovel. Izzy would lead them to victory. They lose, and Izzy's put into the grips. So she's second, going to be winning prize. So Izzy's going to be on the grips in this timeline. As she's just returned to the game. So they could vote for Ezekiel, but I think LaShawn votes for Gwen. Cody and Duncan and Gwen are together. Heather gets Katie and Sadie and Zeke in an alliance, and Harold. So I think Heather votes for Gwen. Duncan, Heather and Cody, these three vote for Heather. DJ votes for Gwen. Katie and Sadie and Zeke and Harold though vote for Gwen, so I think Gwen's still gone here. Episode 8. This is One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest. Okay. So this is where they have to assemble the robots. So Noah would still have his alliance. And Noah would go to Courtney and says, we need to work together. And Courtney would say, why would I work with you? You're a know-it-all. I'm the best, I'm Courtney. Courtney would say how she was going to win this season and she doesn't need any alliances. But Noah points out if they don't work together, Justin's going to dominate the game. And if they get rid of Lindsay, then they will just have Tyler on their side because Tyler's only working with Justin to be with Lindsay. And I think they can get Courtney on their side. So I think Courtney would actually work with Noah. As seeing someone as a very intellectual person, she would understand the importance of Noah and how threatening Justin could actually be. So, One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest, Duncan and LaShawn wouldn't study. And I think Zeke wouldn't study either. I feel like he wouldn't study. He'd forget. And either Noah would study, but again, he probably wouldn't eat the pizza because Noah would think Chris has tampered it in some way. So I think the Gaffers would still win the challenge. So Noah, Eva, I think Noah could win it for the grips. So then whoever gets the reward on this team. And I think they would give it to Lindsay. This would be a good opportunity for them to approach Tyler saying, hey, look, I know you want Justin, vote with us. Next time we go to elimination, we can get rid of Justin. He's a big threat. And I think it would give Tyler a chance to think about it and break off that alliance. So, who gets voted off? Well, LaShawn and Duncan vote for Zeke. Cody and Harold and Zeke, they're in kind of their own alliance. DJ's with Duncan. Heather. So these three vote. So LaShawn convinces Zeke to vote for Heather. Zeke would vote with Heather because even they're on different teams last season. Harold's working with Heather, but he wouldn't vote for LaShawn. So I think, and Cody would kind of work with her and says, help me get rid of LaShawn. And I think Cody would accept because it's kind of weird because Cody and Heather, they're kind of friends. I would say they're friends because Cody was willing to work with Heather even though Heather's very focused and she knows her personality. Like, I'm not saying they're best friends or anything, but I'm just saying that Cody is willing to work with Heather, so I think he would be willing to work with her here. So these four vote for Heather, and these five vote for LaShawn. So LaShawn is out, as they would obviously realise Katie and Sadie. Heather's going to keep them around for a bit longer. She could just get Harold, Cody, and Ezekiel to vote for them next time of elimination. Because LaShawn gets voted off here, she never trash talks in the TDA, because for one, they've already lost, and two, she never gets the reward. And Lindsay's not trash talking here, so I'm not going to say that. So episode 9 is Sandwich Project. I also forgot to mention that DJ still has alliance with Chef at this point. So the scarer, Beth would still be the scarer because she can't scream, and they would still force DJ. Justin and Harold gets the point. Second part's in the bathroom. So it'd be two people. I'm going to say it's pairs. So it's going to be some pairs here. So it's going to be Noah and Justin, Lindsay and Tyler, Courtney, Izzy and Eva in the bathroom, Tyler and Lindsay in the makeout scene. Then Duncan, Heather and Cody. Harold, Duncan, and Heather are together. Zeke and Katie are in the makeout scene, and then Cody and Sadie are stuck together. So I think first part, I'm going to say that Beth would be able to scare Justin, Noah, and Courtney. Second part, Cody, CAD, Izzy, Eva. I think Cody and Sadie would be easier to scare over Sadie, Izzy, and Eva. Then Tyler and Lindsay, I think it would actually be Lindsay and Tyler. So I think the Grips probably win, but it doesn't really matter because DJ would still quit after this challenge. So even if the Gaffers did win, DJ would still quit. So there's that. Episode 10 is Masters of Disasters. Because Owen's not here, nobody breaks their jaw. And Harold has the code originally. Justin originally has the code of Lindsay, but they would argue over it. Tyler would go to Noah and says, "You're right, we need to get rid of Justin. I'll help you guys, that way you're safe." As long as Lindsay doesn't get voted off, which I think Noah would reluctantly agree. But Courtney and Noah, being the smarter of the two, would probably try to get Eva and Izzy on their side, because obviously getting rid of Eva at this point would not be a good move. But Courtney realizes that once Justin's out the picture, and then she's the biggest threat. So Courtney realizes that she can't have that. So she will go to Justin and says, "Let's work together to get rid of Noah's little alliance. That way I can help you get rid of Tyler, and then after that I'll figure some as a result." And I think Justin, being Justin, would accept. So Courtney's like a double agent. She's questioning which side to be on between Noah and Justin, as their rivalry will be heightened throughout the season. So we now have Masters of Disasters. They all take the obstacle course. Katie and Sadie are traveling together. And between the padlock, I do think the Gaffers would get out faster, merely because of the fact Harold's mad skills of getting out of the vault would be more impressive than the Grips, as the Grips wasn't really that good in this challenge. So I think the Gaffers would win. These four vote for Justin, and these four vote for tells these three vote for Noah. They convince Tyler to vote for Justin, so Justin goes home. This completely shocks Justin, as his looks, obviously he didn't expect them to get voted off, and is disappointed that he was eliminated at this point. Episode 11. So this episode of Full Metal Drama. So Noah would be working with the Team East Coast. Tyler and Lindsay are together, and I think Courtney would try to approach Beth, but there with Tyler, I think Lindsay would still be Admiral Lindsay at this point. Courtney would tell Noah that they need to vote off Tyler or Lindsay because they are a couple, and if they get any further, that could be quite threatening. While Noah understands that they are a couple that are quite threatening, after all, is Tyler or Lindsay. Then again, one vote later on can be quite threatening, so I think Noah would agree. As sooner we get rid of them, the better. We see a confessional of Noah saying, "I'm going to rule this game." Because Owen got voted off so early, Noah wasn't really friends with him yet. He says, "I'm going to rule this game, and I'm going to be the big bad now. I'm going to be the winner of the total drama action." So now there's that. There's no Owen's juice. Heather would confront Duncan, and Duncan would initially write Heather off. But Heather points out, if you get rid of me, Harold's not going to work with you. And do you really want Katie and Sadie to make it to a very high situation? If we lose again, we have to vote them off while we have the numbers. Because Harold's in my alliance. But there's going to be a time, Duncan, where I'm not going to control everyone. Cody's not in my alliance, but he's just kind of a vote I would have used to save myself. And I think Duncan would agree that getting rid of Katie and Sadie would be quite beneficial. But after that, you're next. So everyone jumps out of the plane, then making the bombs. Izzy would still go out Explosivo. She still goes Explosivo. Duncan would still be very good at this challenge, and how he said, "Harold, welcome to my world." I think Duncan and Harold would still win the challenge for their team, and they lose. Now, Izzy, does she get voted off? I think Courtney would vote for Izzy, Tyler, Lindsay, and Beth vote for Izzy, and Noah and Owen, Noah, Eva, and Izzy vote for Lindsay just by pointing out how bossy she's been in this challenge. And I think Tyler, he's loyal, he wouldn't vote for Lindsay, so I think Izzy's still voted off. Episode 12. So episode 12, non-elimination. Episode 13, this is Oceans 8 or 9. Okay. Oceans 8 or 9, this is robbing the bank. Obviously, they get caught in the safe by themselves. Tyler's with Lindsay, even Noah together. I think Courtney would get caught in the safe. She's the only one by herself. And between these guys, Katie and Sadie, Heather gets caught in the safe. So the first part, the grips would end up winning as Eva would rip the door off. They're forced to leave Heather. The second part of the challenge would be robbing the bank. They would just, which is now going to be Chef, I assume. I think the gaffers would win. Duncan would say, would be really good at this challenge like it was originally because it says it's like stripping a car. So I think Courtney would end up getting to the end, so she would end up winning immunity. Not winning immunity, they wouldn't get chased around by Owen, so he wouldn't need the wheels of the car. So I think the gaffers would win. And between the others, is that they need to keep Courtney around as these three vote for Courtney. But Noah even asked Courtney who they want to face in the tiebreaker because they know Courtney's going to be definitely voted off by the other three. There's not much they can do about that. So they ask Courtney to vote Lindsay because Lindsay would be easier to beat than Tyler. And on top of that, Lindsay's a bigger threat. And even being bossy in the last challenge, and Courtney wouldn't have liked that. So I think they vote for Lindsay. So in a Lindsay-Courtney tiebreaker, Courtney's winning that tie. Episode 14. This is the bones. So Duncan would still cheat to make the fire. Then the grips get the bones. So it's Beth, Heather. Heather still has her fake wig as well. Then it would be Tyler and Harold, Cody and Noah, Eva and Katie, Sadie and Courtney, and that would leave Duncan and Ezekiel as the final two. So Beth and Heather, Beth, Tyler and Harold. Hard to say, but I think give it to Harold. He's got mad skills. Noah and Cody, I'm going to say Cody, so that's 2 for the gaffers. Eva and Katie, so that's 3 for the gaffers. 2-2. Sadie and Courtney, so that's 3-2. So Duncan would go, and then for the gaff grips, they can choose anyone else. So they would choose Courtney, and Courtney goes, so that's 4-3. And then Ezekiel, it would be Eva, so Eva would win. So then it would be a final tiebreaker, and I think Eva or Courtney could definitely beat the gaffers, so the gaffers are going home. The grips win, and Noah's happy they survived with elimination. So who did the gaffers get rid of? Also, I'll explain about the mole situation with Owen after. So Heather would get Harold and Ezekiel Cody to vote for Sadie and Katie, and she'd get Duncan to vote for Sadie. They choose to get rid of Sadie. The reason why is Sadie made it a lot further last season and would be a bigger threat of the two in this timeline. So I think Sadie got sent home as she had her run Sadie's turn. Episode 15. This is an extreme sports challenge, so it's 4 of you. So basically, the weakest people will not compete. So I'm going to say Noah doesn't compete. And on the gaffers, it's going to obviously be Katie and Ezekiel. So motion boxing, Beth and Harold. Harold gets the point. Then we have the badminton, Eva and Heather. I think Eva would get that point, as Heather was very good originally. I think Eva would just be a machine. Then the wrestling, it would be Courtney and Duncan, and I think Courtney would be able to beat Duncan no problem, like normally. And then the basketball challenge. Now it's a bit hard to figure out between Tyler and Cody who would win basketball, but I have to assume Cody would win it because I'm basing this off that in Greece, Cody's defeated Tyler in a one-on-one before. I'm going to say Cody can pull it off again. And using that logic alone, they would win. So that would be the tiebreaker. Zeke, Katie, and Noah. So they have to do the tiebreaker, the cheer. The grips are still there, cheer, and the gaffers would lose. So Duncan and Harold would temporarily work together because they're friends. They were friends because, well, they were together. So Katie, Ezekiel, they get approached by Duncan. So so Cody and Harold vote for Heather, and Katie and Ezekiel vote for Heather. So Heather's sent home as Heather's the biggest threat, and she gets immunity. In merge challenges, she does quite well. She normally gets immunity most of the time when I get over a chance. So now at the merge, and our merge is quite interesting by gaffers and the grips. So we have Eva, Tyler, Noah, Cody, Zeke, and Katie in the merge. So Lindsay's not here. Justin, and obviously Owen. So episode 16 is dial for merger. So episode 16 is dial for merger, so this is for stopping the time bomb. So because there's no Lindsay to get the stuff, Courtney would win immunity, get the stuff. Who would stop the time bomb? I think Noah would stop the time bomb. He'd be pretty smart too. And I think here, Beth and Tyler, they're in an alliance. Zeke's with them. And Duncan wants to get rid of Courtney, but they get rid of Eva. So Duncan and Harold vote for Eva. Tyler votes for Eva. And I think everyone just votes for Eva. She's the biggest threat in the merge. Get her out if we can. We might not get another chance. So I think Eva's out. Episode 17, Superhero ID. So we know everybody else does. We just don't know how Ezekiel, Tyler, Katie, and Cody do because they weren't really here. They'd be alright. And Noah would think of something pretty smart. I think Noah could think of something like Batman as probably be one of Chris's favorite superheroes. As Chris said, just make your superhero costume. Because Chris never said specifically it had to be your own fan-made character. So Noah would end up winning after making a Batman costume, which would annoy Courtney. Then Noah would get about 15 seconds, which isn't really that much to help in the challenge, but anyway, he gets that. So Courtney would end up winning immunity. And Duncan, Noah, obviously, who's with who? So Harold. So Noah is on his own. He works with Cody. Katie's with them. So these three vote for Tyler. Tyler, Beth, and Ezekiel vote for Duncan. Harold vote for Duncan. So I think Duncan gets sent home. Episode 18. Episode 18 is the Princess Bride. So Courtney's the princess. And first part's the bridge, I think. So anyone, I think Beth falls. Tyler's definitely falling. Ezekiel. Second part's slaying the dragon. Katie's now winning. Cody. I think Harold would win immunity now that Justin's not here. Or Noah. Either one are losing to Courtney, so Courtney's still winning the challenge. And who's voting for who? Tyler votes for... Tyler's cool with Harold, and he's cool with Noah and Cody. So between Zeke, Beth, and Katie, I think he's going to vote for Ezekiel, as Zeke is probably the character who's not actually, Noah would think Zeke is easy to have as an easy vote. So Noah would tell them that we need to get rid of Tyler because Tyler, Harold, and Beth because they're quite close. Harold's immune, so these four target Tyler, and these three did target Noah, but it doesn't matter. Tyler's out. Kate wouldn't vote for Tyler. He wouldn't vote for Tyler because Lindsay's his friend, so I think they actually vote these four. They get Courtney, and they're voting for Beth, vote for Tyler, and the other four would vote for Katie. So it's a tie between Tyler and Katie, and Tyler's winning that tie. Episode I talk about the wrong episode there. Episode 18 is an aftermath. 19 is Princess Bride. Katie, as I just said, Katie's out. Episode 20. So this is Find a Clue, obviously. This is getting all the clues. So no one's obviously been accused, unlike Duncan, because no one's next has been to juvie. Harold will be quite good here. He was quite authentic. And I think Noah would actually win me here, because I see Noah actually killing this challenge, being absolutely brilliant at this. Noah would win this challenge and would figure out it would probably be Courtney. So Noah has immunity. So Courtney, she's the biggest threat. So Cody, he gets Cody to vote for Courtney. And these four vote for Courtney. Courtney's out. Episode 21. First of all, Chris wouldn't bring back Owen as he never broke his jaw, so there's no reason for him to come back. Then the rock and roll band, Harold was alright at this. Tyler would do awful, Zeke would be okay. I think Noah would win this challenge because Noah would have read a book somewhere. Second part is going for the paparazzi. We know everybody else does. We just don't know how Cody and Noah and Tyler do. Tyler would be a people person, so he'd be quite good. Cody would be pretty good, ladies. And Noah, I imagine Noah wouldn't be that good here. So I think trashing the room, I think Tyler wins. Think about the momentum and how well Tyler would be in the situation. So Cody and Noah convince Harold and Tyler to get rid of Beth or Ezekiel. He tells them to get rid of Beth, as she likes Harold, and she's the bigger threat of the two. And next time there's elimination, they could just convince Harold to get rid of Beth. They realise that they need to get rid of Harold, so they convince Ezekiel, but he's friends with Harold, so they would convince Beth to vote for Harold. They convince Ezekiel. Actually, this is a tough vote because Noah wins immunity. So Tyler and Harold decide they'll vote for Ezekiel. Zeke's with them, so he's going to vote. And Beth, so they are convinced to vote for Tyler. So Tyler gets sent home. They get convinced to vote for Beth. So Zeke wouldn't vote for Beth. So Noah tells Harold and Tyler, you two are safe if you help me vote for Beth. So these four vote for Beth, and Beth gets sent home. Final five, pretty cool final five. Ezekiel, Tyler, Harold, Noah, and Cody. So for winning the last challenge, Harold doesn't have to compete in this challenge. So it would be Tyler and Ezekiel, Noah and Cody. So fighting the robot, I think Noah and Cody would win that part of the challenge. They get to the mountain, they're able to defeat the samurai warrior, so they win immunity, and Harold, and they're gonna vote for Tyler, and they convince Ezekiel to vote for Tyler, so I think Tyler, but Tyler and Harold would ask Zeke to vote for Noah. Zeke realizes that they're very close. So I think these three are gonna stick together. So I think Zeke gets sent home. They convince Zeke, so he gets rid of Tyler. Episode 23 is the vomit comment. So I think Harold wins the first part of the ship, already sabotaging it. So the vomit comment, I think it makes sense for... So Harold wins the first part, and for the vomit comment, I think it makes sense for Harold, Zeke, Cody, and Noah. So Noah wouldn't do that well here. Cody... I think Ezekiel could win this challenge because he'd put Ferromotor and he'd eat rat cheese. So I think Zeke wins immunity. So Harold and Zeke vote for someone easy to beat in a tiebreaker. They vote for someone easy to beating a tiebreaker, so they vote for Noah. For someone easy in a tiebreaker, so they vote for Noah. And Noah and Cody vote for Harold. So it's a tiebreaker between Harold and Noah. And much as I love Noah as a character, I think Harold's winning that tie. So Noah gets sent home. Episode 24, the animal buddy. So Harold would pick raccoon. Cody wouldn't pick the bear, so he picks the chameleon. And Zeke's just left with the bear because I don't think I caught anyone to pick a shark originally. So Harold would get to the end faster, so he would get there first because he has the easiest animal. He can just carry a raccoon, so he wins immunity. So Cody and Zeke vote for each other. So who would Harold vote for? And I think he votes for Cody because he's a bigger threat over Zeke, and Zeke would be easier to beat in the finale. Episode 25 is where we have Mutiny on the soundstage. Obviously, this has to end in a tie because they're the final two, so this has to end in a tie. So they each get winning endings. So the votes: Cody votes for Harold, Noah votes for Harold, Tyler Harold, Beth Zeke, Courtney Harold Zeke, and Vic shows for Zeke. For what he did in season 1. Katie votes for Harold, Duncan Harold, Eva Harold, Heather Zeke, Sadie Harold, Lindsay Zeke, Izzy Harold, Justin Harold, DJ Harold, Lashonna Harold, Gwen Harold, Zeke Harold, Trent Harold, Owen Harold, Jeff Zeke, and Bridget Harold. So I think Harold will win most endings, but if you prefer Zeke as an alternate ending, depending on Owen's fighting in the confessional, people that's going to vote for Ezekiel, Harold wins. People that's going to vote Harold, Zeke wins. So thank you guys for watching. This is the only show I think the season would have gone if everyone was in total drama action. And yeah, peace, farewell.